Thank you all again for being here. My name is Dr. Tammy Abughnaim. I'm an emergency physician based in Chicago. I was born and raised in this city. I am intimately tied to all of the social evils of this city. I, as an emergency physician, am witness every single day on shift to the problems of homelessness, to the problems of defunding mental health, to the problems of reproductive justice, because they arrive at my front door. Every single day in Chicago, I combat these issues. And I can tell you, having been to Gaza twice now, and having returned just 4 days ago, that these evils, these social problems and issues that we encounter in Chicago have repercussions and reverberations across the ocean. And that what happens here happens there, and what happens there can absolutely happen here. Just this morning, I was in contact with my colleagues at Al-Aqsa Hospital. I was in Al-Aqsa Hospital in March of this year, where I stood alongside of my colleagues and helped them treat patients as they came to the emergency department. They are frantic right now. They are afraid, they are terrified, and they are so tired. They have been doing this for 10, going on 11 months. As Dr. Ahmed said, they are unpaid. They show up for their patients because they know that nobody else is going to do this job. Because for 10 months, they have been repeatedly disappointed by the international community, and specifically they have been disappointed by this administration and their blatant disregard for Palestinian lives. And this disregard is showcased over and over and over again. It is showcased every single time Joe Biden signs off on an arms package to Israel. It is showcased every single time we hear hollow words from Kamala Harris about how she is sympathetic or empathetic and she really feels for Palestinians. No, you do not. If you felt for Palestinians, you would not continue to send the weapons that are killing them. If you felt for Palestinians, you would not stand when a war criminal comes and speaks to your Congress. If you felt for Palestinians, you would feel the pain of every single doctor and nurse that has to pull American-made shrapnel from the bodies of their children. You do not feel for Palestinians. You have made this very clear all week. You would like us, you would like those of us who support Palestinians, and I am not Palestinian either, as Dr. Tammy Abughnaim has mentioned. You do not feel for Palestinians if you can say to our faces that your testimony and your witnessing of war crimes does not matter, because we are going to continue to pursue our foreign policy as scheduled. I feel so deeply for my colleagues in Gaza right now, because they are afraid that the last remaining hospitals are going to be raided by Israeli forces. And in this pattern that Israel has perpetuated over the last 10 months of raiding hospitals, of killing doctors, of abducting doctors, of torturing doctors and nurses and healthcare workers. In my last 3 weeks at Nasser Hospital, I sat down with many of my colleagues, and they have told me horrifying stories of how they were targeted specifically for being healthcare workers. At Al-Shifa Hospital, during the very final day of their evacuation, healthcare workers were pulled aside because they were wearing scrubs. They were identified as healthcare workers. They were abducted, they were tortured, and ultimately released, with no explanation for the horrors that they had just endured. There is no explanation. There cannot ever be an explanation for this. There is no justification for what is going on in Gaza right now. There is no justification for American support of Israeli war crimes and genocide that is being perpetuated in Gaza right now. I share with you the stories of my colleagues because they cannot be here. They deserve to live in safety. They deserve to be here and address you all, and someday they will be able to do that. But it is my fear that that day will come too late, and that any moment now, I will receive a phone call telling me that all of my colleagues are dead. That these brave souls who are doing this selflessly, at the risk of their lives, and at the risk of their families' lives, will have been killed by Israel for doing their job, for being humanitarians, for being doctors and nurses. I live in dread every single day of hearing of the deaths of the doctors and nurses that I have worked with. It is frustrating to me as an American citizen that I have to come here over and over and over again to share their pain and to share my pain, that we have to display this over and over in an attempt to humanize Palestinians. Palestinian human rights matter because they are human. They are worth defending. Palestinians are worth saving. Kamala Harris does not seem to agree. Joe Biden does not seem to agree. And to that I say, fine. You will lay in the bed that you made. Enough is enough. This is an emergency. It is the emergency of our time. And if you refuse to act in an emergency, that tells us everything that we need to know. You do not stand with us. And if you do not stand with us, you will lay in the bed you made. Everything that you do has consequences. It is not too late to reverse course. You can do the right thing. It is never easy to do the right thing, but it is always obvious what the right thing is. I pray that we do not have to keep doing this. I do not want to be here. My colleagues do not want to be here. We would rather be in Gaza helping the patients, helping our colleagues, relieving their suffering. We would rather be in our emergency departments in Chicago or our pediatric ICUs. I do not want to have to do this, but I do this because I need to give a voice to my colleagues, to my Palestinian colleagues. I hope that that resonates with the Democratic Party, with the political class, before it is too late. Thank you.